Today I'll show you how to view a TRENDnet IP camera over the internet. Now, most of you have an internet service provider which always changes with your home IP address. This is called having a dynamic IP service. Now, imagine if you tried to mail a parcel to a friend, but every day your friend's mailing address changed. The concept is the same for your home IP address. You need a fixed IP address in order to locate and view internet cameras in your home. So, let's go over the big picture. For non-cloud cameras, we need to perform 4 separate tasks to view a home IP camera on our mobile device. First, we'll sign up for our dynamic DNS service, which eliminates the issue of our home IP address always changing. Second, we'll be changing settings on our router. Third, we'll change the settings on your IP camera. And finally, we'll set up TRENDnet's free mobile app to view video anywhere there is an internet connection. I'll assume that your TRENDnet internet camera is already set up and connected to a wireless router. In this video, we'll use TRENDnet's megapixel TV IP 672WI connected to one of our most popular routers, the TEW 731BR. I'm also assuming that your wireless router is already set up and connected to the internet. So, let's jump into step 1, setting up a dynamic DNS service. This service will locate your home network regardless of your ever-changing home IP address. There are a lot of dynamic DNS services offered, but not all services are supported by your specific router. Now, why? The given router requires embedded coding to support each specific dynamic DNS service. So, first log into your wireless router, find the dynamic DNS submenu, and then find the drop-down list of supported services. As you can see, the TEW 731BR supports DieDNS.com, EasyDNS.com, and NoIP.com. For this video, we will use NoIP.com's free basic service. If your router does not have this service, setup for other services is similar to the one we are about to walk through. As well, note that service offerings by dynamic DNS providers change frequently, so the specific service we are highlighting in this video may change. We will go to no-ip.com and select their free basic service. We will create a username of TRENDnet for Life and a password of TRENDnet for Life. Write down your username and password for this service. You will need it later on. You will receive an email confirming account creation. Confirm the account and log on to noip.com. Here you will select Add Host. On this page, we will give our virtual fixed IP address a host name. It can be any name. For this video, we will create a host name of TRENDnet for Life, and then from the drop-down menu, we will select a free host name of noip.org. We will then click the Create Host button, and on this page, it confirms the host name you just created. Write down the host name. You will need this information when setting up your router and mobile app. We have created a dynamic DNS account. Now we will link our router to this service. We have logged into the router and gone to the Dynamic DNS subtab. Here we enable DDNS, select noip.com, enter our host name of TRENDnetforlife.noip.org. Remember, the ending part is noip.org, not noip.com. We have created a username of TRENDnet for Life and a password of TRENDnet for Life. Hit apply and you're done. The router is now linked to your noip.org account. Now we have to open a port on our router to the IP camera. To do this, we need to first log on to our TV IP 672WI camera. Here that we are assuming is the camera is already set up and functioning. We will click on the Setup button, then the Network tab, and then the Network sub-tab. Here under the LAN settings, we will select Static IP Address. Write the IPv4 address down. You will need to enter this information when configuring the router. If you have multiple cameras, the last 2 digits of your IP address need to change in order to give each camera its own unique IP address. So your first camera's IP address would be 192.168.10.30. Your second would be 192.168.10.31, and so on. We will then change the HTTP port from 80 to 81. Changing it to 81 eliminates any potential conflicts with other network devices. Now, write down port 81 as well. You will need this in the next step. Additional cameras need to have their own unique port number. So, camera 2 would be assigned port 82. Camera 3 would then be assigned port 83, and so on. Hit apply, and we are done with the IP camera. Now, you may have also noticed the Dynamic DNS sub-tab in the Network section. This area is only to be configured if you connect this IP camera directly to a modem without the use of a router, so you don't have to change any settings here. The IP camera is now pointed toward port 81 on your router, so now we will open that port on the router. We are logged into the router. Under the Access button, we click on Virtual Server. Then we click on Enable, and we'll name a new Virtual Server profile. For simplicity, we are entering the name of the camera, TVIP672WI. To this Virtual Server profile, we set the protocol to TCP, and we set the private and public port to 81. To match the HTTP port that we are setting on your IP camera. Next, we enter the static IP address of that camera that we wrote down. Now, you click Add and you will see the new virtual server entered in the table here. You have set up a portal through which you will be able to see your IP camera. If you have multiple cameras, repeat this procedure. However, remember that you have to assign a different IP address and port number for each additional camera. Now our IP camera is streaming security video in real time to port 81 on our router that is in turn connected to our dynamic DNS provider. To see our IP camera in real time, simply open any web browser that has an internet connection and type in your dynamic DNS address along with the port number. So you would type in trendnetforlife.noip.org:81. It is very important that you enter the :81. This will direct the browser to the open port that you have created. If you do not enter :81, you won't see anything. If you have another IP camera that is set to port 82, you simply enter trendnetforlife.noip.org:82 to view and manage that camera. We have signed up for the dynamic DNS service. We have reconfigured our router and IP camera to stream video over the internet, and we have seen our video on a browser. Now, let's configure TRENDnet's free Apple or Android app. We simply go to the App Store and search SecureView Pro and download the free TRENDnet app. Open that app, then press the plus sign to add a camera. You can add a picture to identify the camera from your photo album. Let's name this camera TVIP672WI. For the host IP, we will enter trendnetforlife.noip.org. For the port setting, we will enter port 81. And then in the password field, we'll enter the password for the IP camera, not the password for the dynamic DNS service. Press Done, and then in the main page, we now see the camera icon listed. Select the icon to see real-time camera video. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, this is Steven saying try to DIY.